Well, guys, I know I am a few days late for this, but here is my super late WrestleMania 31 reactions. Uh, yeah, WrestleMania 1 was this past Sunday, and honestly, I thought it was pretty good. Better than what I expected. I honestly thought it was gonna be complete disaster, but it ended up being a lot better than what I was expecting it to be. Um, the first thing, I thought the matches were pretty good. I thought a lot of it was pretty good. However, one complaint I have, major complaint, is the ending, and I'll get to that later. The first match is starting with the pre-show is the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It's the New Day, and it's Kofi and Big E of the New Day versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro for who are the tag team champions, and the Usos, Los Matadores. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's four tag teams against each other. Um, and the winner of that match was Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. They retained the tag team titles. I guess it was a good match for pre-show, but it wasn't really anything special. Then again, it's on the WrestleMania pre-show, so you really don't expect it to be special. So though it has some pretty good moments, it has a lot of high-flying moments. The second match is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. There was just so many people fighting. Now, I made a prediction that either Curtis Axel or The Miz or Damian Sandow were going to win the Battle Royal, but I didn't. Me being the dumbass that I am, I didn't think of this prediction. The Big Show. He actually ended up winning the Battle Royal because, the Big Show is equivalent to Andre the Giant. Big Show is basically the modern day Andre the Giant. And I didn't think of that. I didn't think that he would win the Battle Royal. What a dumbass me. So, the next match. Now we're getting to WrestleMania. The two pre-show matches are over. Now we're getting to WrestleMania, starting with the Intercontinental title ladder match. It's Daniel Bryan, Bad News Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth, and Dean Ambrose. I almost forgot his name. I can't believe that. And it was a phenomenal match. It was just crazy. They were just tearing each other apart. My God, it was insane. And at the end of the match, it was Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler on the top of the ladder, just headbutting each other, headbutting and headbutting. It was crazy. And then finally, Daniel Bryan won the Intercontinental title. So that's two predictions I got correct. I knew Daniel Bryan was gonna win because he was pretty much getting buried when he was competing for the WWE title. Like, he lost the Royal Rumble twice. I don't think he was in the Royal Rumble the first time in 2014. But then he ended up winning the title at WrestleMania, even though he wasn't in the Royal Rumble match at all. But he got injured a month later after WrestleMania 30, and I left him like a nearly year hiatus. He came back in January, enters the Royal Rumble, and gets eliminated so early. And at Fastlane, he loses to Roman Reigns. And so now he's in the Intercontinental title division, and you gotta let him win somehow. I mean, if he lost this one, he would continue to get buried. It's just crazy. It is just fucking crazy, man. Next match is Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins. Now, this was a phenomenal match that my prediction was wrong. I honestly thought Seth Rollins was going to win, but Randy Orton overcame him. He did. And the way the match ended was just amazing. Now, at the end of the match, Seth Rollins did that curb stomp, but then Orton lifted his head, and then he did the RKO. That was just amazing. That was like the highlight of WrestleMania 31 to me. Like, that move was just incredible. Just Rollins curb stomping, curve stomping, Orton lifting his head, and RKO. You have to see that match. You gotta see it. I don't care if it's on, you have to torrent it or YouTube or WWE Network or whatever. Just see that match. Just go watch that moment. It is just amazing. It is amazing. That moment alone stole the show. That moment right there was the WrestleMania moment. The next one, and I honestly thought this would be much later in the show, but it's actually the match between Triple H and Sting. Um, well, I thought Sting was gonna win, but it's a shame that his very first match in WWE was a loss, but I'm sure he doesn't mind that. Now, this was another great match, and I like the way they entered before the match. You know, Sting came out with like a bunch of drummers with Sting face paint. It looked like Juggalos from ICP, and then Triple H came out with this cheesy looking Terminator like costume. It's almost ridiculous, but at the same time it was pretty cool. I did like the Terminator entrance, even though the costume was pretty cheesy. But as for the match itself, it was really well done. DX came in during towards the middle and the end of the match. DX came in to help Triple H, but the NWO came in to help Sting, which is kind of funny because NWO and Sting were kind of enemies in WCW, and I was kind of expecting the NWO Sting to help Triple H just for shits and giggles, but hey, DX and NWO coming back to help Sting, Triple H and Sting respectively, that is a memorable moment. And I definitely love at the end of the match, Triple H won with the help of Shawn Michaels. You know, he just came out of nowhere and just sweet chin music, Sting. And Triple H won that match, and at the end it was just showing a sign of respect and just all, you know, respecting each other, showing class, and it was just a great moment too. The next match is AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bellas. Um, Honestly, I didn't really care much for this match, although I didn't pay much attention to it. I really don't like the Divas that much, except for a couple of them. Uh, but yeah, this was one prediction I got wrong. And then there was also that segment with The Rock and Ronda Rousey with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. I believe that was towards like the end of the pay-per-view. But I'm gonna talk about it now. And it was a pretty good segment. You know, The Rock is telling, you know, the same old jokes he would usually tell. But I did not expect Ronda Rousey to enter the ring. Now, I would like to see Ronda Rousey go against the WWE Divas. Just imagine Ronda Rousey as a WWE Diva. Holy shit, she would crush everybody there. Oh my god, she would make Paige and AJ look like schoolgirls. Oh, that would be crazy. The next match is John Cena versus Rusev for the WWE United States Championship. Now, I didn't care that much for this match. You know, I thought it was just some boring, you know, match where just Cena was gonna win, as I predicted. Cena would eventually win the title because he's Superman and he's defending his country. Blah 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 blah. It's like that old cliche from the 80s, or you know, Hulk Hogan versus the Iron Sheik or Nikolai Volkov, or like an American wrestler versus a wrestler from a foreign country, and then the foreign wrestler destroys him time and time again until like the big pay-per-view, the American wrestler triumphs. You know, it's that old cliche storyline from the 80s that's brought back to modern era. You know, and yeah, Cena always wins. LOL. The next match was The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. Now, this was a very entertaining match. You know, although it's not quite the same anymore since the streak is gone, but no streak aside, this was a very entertaining match. I think Wyatt and Taker went out very well, and Undertaker wrestled a lot better in that match than he did with his match against Lesnar. In his match against Lesnar, he was broken down, and he pretty much got slaughtered by Lesnar at WrestleMania last year. But this match was a lot better. He did a lot better. Both Wyatt were very, both Wyatt and Taker were very entertaining. When Wyatt did that spider move, and then Undertaker lifted himself up, like it was just a crazy moment. And Undertaker looks even better too. He doesn't have that stupid mohawk. He actually looks like 2002 Big Evil Undertaker. So that looks cool. Now we go on to the main event, the WWE Heavyweight Championship match. It's Brock Lesnar, the champion, versus Roman Reigns. It was not what the ending was not what I expected, but now let me explain how the match went. You know, the starts out with Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but then Lesnar starts pretty much destroying Reigns everywhere. He was just suplexing after suplexing, and to the point where Lesnar just went, "Suplex City, bitch!" It was just a crazy, crazy match. But then, somehow or some way, when they were fighting outside the ring, Roman Reigns slammed Lesnar to one of the corners of the ring outside, and then he was hit by one of the metal pipes where the turnbuckles are, and he was busted open completely. And that was when Roman Reigns started getting the upper hand. He was doing Superman punch after Superman punch. You know, he was kind of being the Samoan John Cena, like people were predicting him to be. And then Lesnar kind of fought back. He would do the F5, but then at that moment they were like both pretty knocked down. But then the match was going pretty well. Then from out of nowhere, Seth Rollins comes in and just weasels his way to winning the WWE Championship thanks to his Money in the Bank contract. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no problem, absolutely no problem with Seth Rollins winning the championship. I think I would prefer him over Roman Reigns, and maybe even Brock Lesnar since he's a part-time wrestler for now. I think Seth Rollins is the future. He's phenomenal in the ring. He's a great heel. I mean, he's just overall fucking awesome. But the problem is the way the ending felt. To me, the ending just felt rushed. Like they just threw him in the last minute. Like you could tell that they did, because that was like probably planned. Like you could tell that they kind of rushed it, because when he came in, he was only there for like not even a minute, and then he would just curb stomp Lesnar and Reigns, and then he would pin Roman Reigns to win the belt. He didn't even pin Reigns. He didn't even pin Brock. Brock was the champion. He wasn't pinned. Brock never lost. Brock never lost. And he pinned Roman Reigns, the challenger. And Rollins still became the champion. You know, if it was Lesnar that he pinned, it would have made a lot more sense. But he just randomly comes into the match during the middle and doesn't even pin the champion. It's just crazy. Oh man, I'm sure they're gonna fight each other at Extreme Rules, and Lesnar is gonna crush Rollins. Lesnar is gonna crush Rollins. But maybe in retrospect, maybe the ending wasn't so bad. I mean, after all, because at the end of the day, Seth Rollins is the champion, and he's a well-deserving champion no matter what. But yeah, maybe that was the best decision they could have done. I mean, I did read online that they read that the match, including Seth Rollins into the match, was a last-minute decision. Somewhere on a new wrestling news article. You know, I don't know if it's true or not, but it seems likely, because that ending felt kind of rushed to me, at least. So yeah, overall, WrestleMania was pretty damn good. So yeah, that's it for this video. Until next time, I'm AliRx, and I'll see you on the other side.